Well, welcome to another episode of Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. We talk an awful lot about networking on this show, and this is a great example. This interview is going to be a great example of networking. My friend, Carrie Boyce, who is on the East Coast of the United States, connected me with two gentlemen that are over in Italy who I've only met in the last couple of minutes, but consider friends already. Have the boys from Damn Freaks all the way from Italy. How you doing, fellas?
Yes. Very good, man.
Good, good. So, Carrie sent me a couple of your songs, I guess, 2 weeks ago, and I mean, I loved it. I got it right away. Maybe Matteo, we'll start with you. You guys are you have a fresh sound, but you still have that kind of throwback, you know, 80s kind of fun, popular. I don't want to say hair metal, but that kind of genre. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, right. That's where we come from. So that's basically our, kind of music. But it's not the '80s anymore, unfortunately.
Well, it's not, but and I'll ask either of you two fine fellows to answer this. Why do you think this music? I mean, obviously we know in the '90s there was the grunge thing, and the music kind of lost its appeal, but it seems like now it's more popular than it's ever been. I mean, you have Monsters of Rock cruises, you have all these festivals, you have different sorts of things. Why do you think that is?
Giulio, you want to answer?
Oh, I think that now, talking about now is different. I think it was better before, but now it's just that rock and roll is not in the mainstream, And in my opinion, rock and roll, has become something different than it was. And I really don't know if it's better or not. For some reasons, it's better because people like us, we play music, but we're not in the mainstream, and we can show the world what we're going to do. And it's crazy. It's good. I love it. But definitely, I think that the worst aspect is just that it's very hard to play live music, because when you produce an album, even if it's an album that in the 80s would have been a great album, it's very hard to play live because there is no money.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there is no money. And I know that the internet created such a world where everything is the same. So if you have a great quality, great musicians, great guitarists, great bass players, drummers, singers, great songs, you are in the same box of people who do these kind of things for hobbies, and this is not good. And but definitely I'm happy because last October I received a call from Matteo, a message. I was eating my dinner, and out of the blue, it happened. He sent me a message and they told me, Giulio, we're looking for a singer for the new Damn Freaks, and the producer is Alex De Rosso, and I already knew the name because he was the guitarist for Dokken, And I said, yes, absolutely. It seemed that it was very interesting to me. And I joined the band, and everything was crazy, very fast, but not fast because we were in a hurry, but it was fast because it was very easy to work with them. And the music was crazy, and I think we produced a very great album. But it's a mess for me. I'm sorry, because it's very hard to go out and play live. I play, in the last 18 years, I've been playing on stage all over Europe in more than 1,400 concerts, but with covers. And it's useful because you train your voice, you become like an animal on stage. But I'd like to play these songs on stage, and it's very hard today,
Well, and I mean, as a singer, so that genre of music, obviously the vocals are very important, right? Like anybody that of that, I guess, time always had good singers. I think of guys like Ronnie James Dio. I think of guys like Bruce Dickinson. I think of guys like Paul Sortino from Rough Cut, right? Don Dawkins. You mentioned Dawkins. Do you feel that you are maybe trying to bring that back as a vocalist, because really it's kind of it was kind of a lost art form in the 90s and in the 2000s?
Yeah, I think that it's very important to be yourself. So I love rock and roll. When I sing rock and roll, yeah, I am also singing teacher, and I've been studying singing vocal techniques for the last 30 years, and and every day of my life I sing. So every single day of my life I sing high pitches, high notes. I teach, and definitely I also love pop music. For example, I love Michael Jackson, George Michael, Terence Trent D'Arby, Lenny Kravitz, all this Jeff Buckley. But when I sing, in the past, I found out that my voice is good when I sing rock and roll. And okay, it's not a matter of trying to be the same of the singers of the past, but it's what you are. In my life, all my life, I just try to be myself, and myself is a rock and roll singer, and definitely it's like a game for me. It's a way of living, and I can make a living, and also is something that I cannot avoid doing. I got to do that. So it's not a matter for me. It's not a problem for me if I'm close to another singer. For example, in the 90s, I was in love with Sebastian Bach. I love the Skid Row stuff. Slate to the Grind was my favorite album. And I think that I got many influences, but I don't care. I think that when I sing, I just try to be myself, and what you can listening the album and the songs is just what I am. I don't think about the past or the future. I don't know, just the present.
Fair enough. So Matteo, and we were talking there a couple of minutes ago about the difficulty of bands playing live and what have you. Your band's been around for a bit, and so I guess the prospect of taking this out and playing. You play in your own country, you do some stuff in Europe, but what's the prospects like of being able to do a tour or playing some shows?
I don't know what to answer about it because, as Giulio told you, it's very difficult. We are doing as much as we can. But of course, we are trying to do something, especially here in Europe. We have a couple of booking agencies who are working hard for us. But, probably we are going to open for some big festival, that kind of stuff, rock and roll festival. That's at this point what we can do now.
Awesome. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to pay some bills on this podcast. We're going to come back. The boys from Damn Freaks all the way from Italy after this. Welcome back to Rimshots with Sean. I'm here with my new friends, a couple of fellows from Damn Freaks in Italy. So, Matteo, I'll go back to you. We were talking about, playing and the prospects of that. How was it that you guys connected with the guitar player in Dawkins to work on your album? That's a very interesting hookup.
Oh, Matteo's got to answer.
Okay. Alex De Rosso is Italian, so it's been kind of easy to call him. And actually, our label was in contact with him, so that's where I found his number, and I called him, and he was actually very happy to work with us. I went to Padova. Padova, that's where he comes from. We have a couple of glasses of wine, and then we talk about this project. the music is the same. It comes from Doc, and we grew up with Doc and that kind of stuff. So it was very easy, good connection. And the only thing that he asked me, it was that he wants to be the producer of this album. And I was actually very, very happy about it. Because, so in this case, I don't have to go to any studios. So that was actually fantastic because Alex Rosso is also a great producer.
Well, and I mean that's important. And having the name recognition or the name branding of being able to work with, somebody that plays in the band. Because I mean, it's really funny how people say, "Oh, well, I'm not familiar with that music," but you say Dawkins, and they know who Dawkins is, right? Like I interviewed Mick Brown. It was the first interview that he did in probably 4 years, and it got worldwide attention because everybody thought Mick was dying or Mick was, they didn't know what was going on. All he wanted to do, man, was fade off into the sunset and retire because he wasn't enjoying playing anymore, and he's living life and having a great time. So it's funny how that band still resonates, and kind of what we're talking about with this genre of music, right? It's like people still want to hear this type of music.
Exactly.
We hope it's so, but okay, I don't know. Yes, it's a good point. I think that that kind of music is. Okay, it's kind of immortal. Okay, okay, even if the mainstream is going to change, has already changed in the last 20 years, I think. But definitely, I don't know. I want to think that is like genre who's going to become something very particular, and I love that. Okay, even if it's not in the mainstream and you have less opportunities. But definitely is something that makes you become something, okay, I wouldn't say strange, but good, because we are like a community, I think the rockers are like a community. We know about Dokken, we know about great bands of the past, but definitely, when I talk with my friends here in Italy, most of them, they don't know Dokken. And it's crazy for me because it seems to me that we are just a little kind of community, a group of people. We got to talk by ourselves, okay, each other. And yeah, I love that because I think that, okay, in the rock and roll scene, especially here in Italy, I play a lot on stage with the cover bands and the agencies, and sometimes people can think that playing in a cover band is not good because you got to play your own songs and nothing else. But definitely, if you play in good stages and people can see you and what you're able to do, that means that maybe you could have a call or great opportunities, because if you don't go on stage, if you don't show what you got, how the people can know you and to contact you. For example, I think that Matteo has contacted me maybe because I play in a cover band and he saw me on stage. I don't know, maybe something like that. Or maybe because I got before Damn Freaks, I already recording my own music with some record labels.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't ask you this before.
Well, here you go. Breaking scoops from Matteo. How did you wind up getting this gentleman?
No,
thank you.
I was following him on Facebook because of he used to play in a Bon Jovi tribute band, and I'm actually a big fan of Bon Jovi. But then I also saw that he had his own album, and I liked him a lot. That's why I contacted him.
Well, and I mean,
my first one.
Exactly. That's
hey, you know what? And always be selling, boys. Always be selling, right? Because that's how your music gets out there. And it's interesting that people kind of rip cover bands because to be able to play in a cover band, you have to sound like a whole bunch of different artists, right? Playing your own stuff, you sound like you. And there's a real skill set to it to do it well. Is that do you guys feel the same way?
Go ahead, Giulio.
I didn't understand anything because there is a lot of noise there, and I
sure. So basically, to play in a cover band, it's not easy because you have to sound like a bunch of other artists versus playing your own stuff. You just sound like yourself. So sometimes people criticize cover bands because they think you're not doing real music, but it's a real skill set to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, it's not so easy. Yeah, okay, I think it's a good point, but definitely, I think that I'm not the kind of guy who plays in a cover band and tries to imitate the artist, the other artists. You know, I got my personality, and maybe this is the reason why, even if I play in cover bands, they contacted me the same because when I play in a cover band, I got a productions. I teach singing, so I do many things. And I think that everything I do is useful for me, because if I wouldn't play on stage, for example, because I wouldn't want to play the covers, I would never train my voice being powerful, because when you go on stage and you play for 2 hours, 3 days, three gigs in a row, you understand how to play. And when I play Guns N' Roses music, Bon Jovi music, Whitesnake music, AC/DC, Aerosmith, I just use my own voice. And my agency, okay, understood that, because the most of the cover bands, they used to imitate because it's useful for the crowd, the crowd see, oh my God, it's like Axl Rose, it's like Bon Jovi. But I don't want to do these kind of things. I'm Giulio Garghentini playing that music because that music allows me to go on stage, So I'm so grateful with this art, to these artists, And yet it's hard. But it's not so hard if you play with your own voice. Yeah, it's not so hard, definitely.
Well, and I mean, so Matteo, I'm a drummer as well, and I play, all the time, and I do covers, but I also do originals, and it's funny how sometimes drummers can be the worst critics of other drummers. You're in an audience, and singers I find not so much. Maybe guitar players. I find drummers sometimes are most critical of other drummers. You find the same thing when you're out there playing?
For sure, Sean. For sure, you got the point.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I've got a rule of thumb, right? I've always had it. If I'm in the crowd drinking a beer and somebody's on stage, it doesn't matter what I think. They're doing it, I'm not. Therefore, I'm respectful, and I expect the same thing if it's the other way. That's kind of the way that I work.
Good.
So, gentlemen, I want to be respectful of your time. It's afternoon where you are. It's still morning where I am, and it's so great to meet a couple of fellow musicians from across the pond. I was in Europe in August and had a great time. I was in Ireland and didn't get over to Italy, but I'm planning on going there sometime soon. Where can my viewers find out about Damn Freaks? Because I heard the stuff. I think it's great, and I'd like to expose you guys to some other folks. Where can they hear Damn Freaks?
I don't know. Matteo knows the answer. I don't know.
Yeah, you can hear our new album almost everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, on our Facebook page. So almost everywhere.
Awesome. Well, go check them out, because I tell you, my friend Carrie, who this is actually the second time that she connected me with a very cool band. And she's a major music fan. So for you guys to have her as a fan is great, because she'll spread the word. It happened because of her, right? So I want to thank you, gents. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's stay in touch and keep me up to date on how she goes.
Thank you, Sean. And by the way, hi, Carrie.
Oh, he's got the wine. He's got the
Oh
wine.
my God, the wine! Yeah, you know. Oh man, you gotta come over and drink, you know, because Matteo is a very big expert. Yeah, you know.
Well, yes, we got to. That's part of the reason why I got to get over there, Jets. Anyway, thanks for doing that. And we will chat again soon.
All right. Thank you, Sean.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sean.
Bye.